Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second episode of Tales of Elysium. Today, I'm your host, Romeo, joined by the owner of the org, Caleb.
Yo, yo.
Top laner and coach. Nope, not coach. Top laner and captain of Terra. I did it. Ryan.
What's up?
Award-winning coach of Valor, Sussuration.
Hello.
How do you feel after today, real quick? Just in one word.
I'm feeling good.
Idrees, I didn't forget about you. And the impatient ADC and captain of Dawn, Idrees.
Yo, what's up? It's me. I have ADC brain. Can't be forgotten.
Ian's also a jungler, but Romeo didn't include that.
He's a coach. He's a coach. He coaches me, okay? So that doesn't count. Now,
5-roll diamond.
4-roll diamond. He's a diamond in support. Yeah, that's coming. That's coming later this week, hopefully, or later this month.
Coming soon.
Hopefully he gets me to diamond while doing it. But we got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. We're going to go ahead and start with recapping last week's game. So, Caleb, why don't you go ahead and run it down like you usually do my solo queue games.
That's also based. Yeah, so we had our Omen boys playing Titan Week 2 versus Dorado Gaming Row. I would say Dorado's probably one of our rivals at this point. That was on stream. The boys 2-0'd. MVPs of that series would be Yikaw and Dilly. Yikaw was on Alawi and just like 1v5 in their base, killing everyone, just getting every tower. Typical Alawi things. Wednesday was played technically today. We got O2'd by Literal Monkeys, I think was their name.
Literal Monkeys. What team, sorry?
Literal
For Valor. Literal Monkeys.
That was today.
Yeah, so that was supposed to be last week. So we did that game today. Like I said, we got O2'd.
Ooh, it was, it hurt.
They were both very winnable games until they weren't. I'll say that. And then Thursday we had ZGG, the Shield boys that played in playoffs, played a warm up in ZGG, basically a scrim. We 2-0'd Romeo's rivals, personal rivals.
Let's
OMP.
go, baby! Fuck that org. It's been 2 minutes. Fuck that org.
We actually crushed them. That was a odd series. They played Brand Top. What?
I just hate OMT. That's all.
I thought like the audio
no,
stopped.
just,
But yeah,
just,
so they
God,
played they played Brand Top and Ivern Mid, like they were psychotic. And then Friday we had OCL playoffs upper bracket. The Shield boys took down Optimal Esports Nova 3-1. MVPs would Moach. Oh, Moach was also MVP on Thursday. So MVP Thursday was just Moach. And then Friday was Moach and I. I was AD carry. Our boy John went to mid, and then shout out K-Peps for coming in and jungling. Nothing Saturday. Sunday we had Nova play in their playoffs. We played against AIB team. Well, I just want to say, if they are watching or anyone from LAS, like those guys are way better than they were when we first played them. And
oh God, yeah.
I would not
made
sleep
a
on
post
that
about
team.
That.
Yeah.
They have Coach BK, by the way, just as a side, you know.
Yeah, Burger King,
Dawn
right?
mid laner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I made a post about that earlier, like when I made our Nova post. Holy crap! Like obviously we had a couple subs when we did Nova, so it was a little bit scarier. But straight up, like they did so much better. There's a reason they took a game off us, right? It was holy crap. But we'll get into that
for sure. And then MVP of that series was our boy Romeo on the Jarvan, holding it down, playing Broken Champions. Good job. And then today we had Omen versus Eclipsing Tide Solar. That was a very fast 2-0. And then our Dawn boys, which we have 3 of them here. And we can talk about that probably in depth more. But we did beat Shark Team 6 and the mods for the record.
That? It says
2-1.
bot cap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I spit in the mic.
That's good. Oh my god. But yeah, so that's the week recap. Am I missing MVPs? I don't think so. So congrats
MVP
everyone.
Nick Lowe's.
Oh right,
Dawn.
Nick Lowell's MVP of the series for tonight's playoffs.
Now, since we do have these guys here, we should, because obviously me and you're going to talk about the Nova match in a second, but we'll go ahead and let these guys, because they're fresh. They just came out of beating Snake Team Snicks. Whoa.
He said it, not me.
Go ahead. First off, explain to me the rivalry here, because I only found it right before one of the podcasts that we don't like these guys.
Yeah, I guess you could say it's a bit of a rivalry. We played I think they were our first match in the regular season of Style. So like Style has a really weird format. Basically, the regular season is just for seeding, I guess. I guess we can get into that more later. But yeah, we lost to them pretty hard in the regular season. It was like our first game together. So I guess, once we had a lot more practice down, we were able to come back. But yeah, like we were initially supposed to play them last week, I think. And there was like a whole conundrum with the, like they didn't have their rankings for playoffs. We tried to go to the admins. They're like, hey, what's up with that? The admins initially, they were going to make them FF, but they realized, they're like, well, maybe let's just let them reschedule. And so, yeah, we had to reschedule again and play them today. The last day to play them, it was pretty scuffed, but, it was a pretty banger of a series, but we just, we kind of shit on them.
So you guys had to reschedule because they didn't get stuff done on time.
Yep.
4 of their players, by the way. 4 of their players.
Three of the 5
More-
players didn't have
more-
enough games played.
More players than didn't have their games. So, the players that didn't have their games, they got them in like the day after. And
Which is also insane because we're like, what, 3 months into the new season or something like that?
We're pretty far into the new season.
Well,
and I mean,
it started in June, right? So yeah, about
And it's only
like
20
2.5.
games.
They
20
didn't have
games.
20 games played in 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It was quite the headache. We had to work with the admins a lot. We were like, yo, what's up with this? Like, is this really fair? But I mean, the admins, I think they're like, they run the league quite differently from other leagues. They really don't like teams FFing. They prefer to have a different solution every time. And this one, it's kind of annoying because, we had to like make things work with our schedules where we were available last week and they were available. They could have read the rules, but it is what it is. We played them today. We beat them fair and square. More than fair, I guess. But like, yeah.
It wasn't 2-1 though. It was pretty a closer series for sure. Do you want to go into how Style works exactly? Because I know it's a points league, which I think this is the first points league Elysium's entered.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I think it's very, very unique. It has its ups and downs, I think. So they have a regular season where basically there's like 40 teams ranked on a leaderboard, and essentially the goal of the regular season is you need to play 8 individual games, and you can schedule games with opponents. And you have like 4 weeks to do it. I think there's like a month to schedule 8 individual games. You can do it. One team you could do a best of 1, best of 3, 2 block, 3 block, 7 block, 8 block. Whatever you want. You just need 8 individual games to qualify for playoffs. And at that point, your MMR on the leaderboard is like based off your ranks, and then like who you beat and like which seeding they were. So you kind of like have like a bit of a shuffle in the ranks, and then from there they divide the bracket. This time they do like brackets of 8. So it's like the top 8 are in like the uncapped league, then the next like 9 to 16, which is the one we're in. It's like Masters capped or something. It's like it's not roughly defined. It's kind of just wherever people fall. But yeah, it generally like the elo you're in kind of determines where you go, and then the games you play in the regular season make you go up or down a bit. So we ended up with like the 5th seed of the 9 to 16 teams, and we played Shark Team 6, a team we'd already played before in the regular season. Definitely, interesting characters there, but we were able to get the revenge win. And it's one more thing is like the playoff is double elimination, so they're not out. We have a match we have to schedule next week or sometime between now and next week. So it's a double elimination 18 bracket. So currently we're in the winner's side.
So who are you guys against for going into this next round? Because I guess it goes. You said there's 16 teams in this playoff.
Yeah.
So
well, there's 18. There's 9 teams actually. So they had like a play-in round for 8 and 9. That wasn't double. I think actually it is double elimination. I'm not sure how it works. I have a graphic here, but we're in the upper bracket. If we win that round, we go to semifinals. Winners
so you're in
semifinals.
Quarterfinals of winners right now.
Yeah. Quarterfinals. It's still like no one's been eliminated yet, but they had like a play-in kind of like 8 versus 9 thing, and then. Yeah, something happened. It's like a pretty weird
Do we
bracket.
know who you guys are going up against for the quarterfinals, though?
Yeah, we're going against Rude Awakening. I just literally typed their OPGGs into like an hour ago. So I mean, I don't know anything about them. They beat Mythic Esports, a team that we had lost to also on an off day. But we'll see how that goes.
Are we worried? What's the prep looking like, Sus, for this upcoming match?
I think right now we kind of seems like we've kind of identified a playstyle that seems to work for us. We kind of seem to be favoring a little bit more of like a controlled approach. And initially we kind of thought about going towards a skirmish heavy playstyle like early when we were first playing together. And it seems like what's been working for us is a much like slower, more controlled approach, making sure we are taking numbers fights, have vision set up, try to out macro the other teams. So it seems like we're going to try to focus more on that kind of play style as we go into like the rest of the playoffs.
My question for that, I think we can go back to the playoffs, of course, but just to segue kind of what Sus was saying here, because I'm looking at the match results, right? We have some Sejuani and some Maokai. How do you think, if at all, that'll shift Sus right now with like this Gore Drinker, Sojin, like Xinjiao, Jarvan, like really in your face early game bruisers maybe coming into the meta? We'll have to see. Obviously, we're new on the patch, but like, what's kind of your thoughts of that? And do you think that's anything you'll have to bring into playoffs and style?
I mean, playing it in solo queue feels really good. In the series we just had, Jarvan was permabanned, so was never. I mean, had 100% presence, but was obviously never picked.
Mm-hmm.
The Xin Zhao is, I would say, like kind of on like a tier below the Jarvan. It feels like not as. It's still versatile, but it definitely feels like if you're playing Xin Zhao and the other team locks in Maokai, it feels like pretty rough to try and pilot the team fights. If they just kind of play front to back and have the ability to focus you down. So it feels like committing to the Xin Zhao super early is a good way to get countered. And then things like Sejuani and Maokai are just way too consistent, and they don't really draft you into a hole, so you can just pick them really super early on in the draft without revealing too much about your strategy going forward.
Is there any like picks, like for everyone in Elysium watching, are there any picks like in each role that you think like you need to know right now as we go into this fall split for what you think is going to be consistently like good in the meta moving like forward?
Do we want to go like role by role or?
Yeah, let's go for it. I mean, actually, if you, Ryan, and Sus want to answer this, because Ryan's obviously top laner, you're an 8 bot lane, and Sus plays every lane. So if you guys want to all go through it, we'll start with the top lane. Let Ryan go.
Well, I think Jax is like you need to have like comfortable blinds as a top laner. Because in general, in most series, you'll end up having a blind, and top lane's obviously very snowbally, so you got to be able to play safe and not go far behind if your team is playing bot side, for example. So I think Jax is a great pick. Blind, you can also like having a tank that's blindable in your pool is really important. Something like Ornn is really good. I would say those two are very big picks off the top of my head, or any flex you have with your jungler. So, for example, with Ian, I'm playing Sejuani. Maokai is one of those. For Ian, I'm picking Sejuani because I could play it and he can pick something like Belveth, and he could pick it and I could pick something like Jax. And we have good 2v2 synergy that way. Yeah.
We'll move down to the jungle because Ian, you know, me and you are sitting there, and people don't even trust my opinion about Xin Zhao, Spear, Sojin, so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, I mean, the Xin Zhao new Spear, Sojin, like Gore Drinker shenanigans definitely feels like, I would say the best he's felt in a decent amount of time. I think Stridebreaker is like actually insane on him right now. That's what I've been personally going, is Stridebreaker into Shojin, and it feels like very hard to actually escape him. I think like Jarvan, Maokai, Sedge, like really my like big three. Like if you know these three, you're like probably good. I personally am a huge fan of the Rel, but most teams don't seem to prioritize it super heavily, and it hasn't looked like super great in pro play. I've never seen it like super pop off and seem like unbeatable. But I personally think it's the best jungler, and it kind of doesn't seem to be catching any nerfs. So. But yeah, definitely Maokai, Sedge, Jarvan are like the big three for the general public.
And then, of course, mid lane. I imagine you're going to have to go on it. You're the diamond mid laner. I guess, Caleb, if you want to speak up on this as well. Who are you guys expecting to be pick bans in competitive moving to this new kind of meta of league?
Maybe not pick ban. I'll say like 2 sleeper picks right now, especially at our elo. Like especially in the plat, gold, and emerald caps. Like Lux right now got buffs, and she's just so brain dead OP. I think she's super safe, really hard to punish. really easy to farm. Her ult at like rank 3 is on a 20-second cooldown. And with the build that she's going, it does 1600 damage. So if anyone is CC'd that's squishy, they're just dead from
Is it
9
really that
screens
OP?
away. It's really strong. Yeah.
Because we like permaban Lux actually tonight because
Yeah.
their enemy mid laner is like it's like kind of a Katarina one trick. Like their name is the perfect cat, but also
Yeah.
like Lux is like way up there in terms of the games, and we're just like, this guy seems to
Yeah.
perform on Lux, so we're and it's
Yeah,
buffed. We're
she's
just
gotten
not
a
gonna,
lot of buffs
we're not gonna
and
mess with that.
I think it's one of those picks where it's like if you pick it too early, it can be punished, kind of like the Xin Zhao, right? You can pick like dive champs, she struggles against that. But I like view her in draft as like an Anivia, where like if you pick her in the right spot, it just actually feels like the whole game feels unplayable. Just so she can one shot any squishy, the way she sets up cheeky picks, and like I said, her lane phase is just so safe. Tristana's obviously still good mid. I think for the Ellie mids, picking up Tristana would be good. And then I played it tonight. Tryndamere feels really good right now. We played Trynd Maokai, and the enemy mid laner could not play the game. It's just really, really good pick. The increases his attack range and stuff, and he has like a lot of good mid matchups. If you take second wind and Dorn Shield, you have too much sustain, and they can't really push you out. So
And then
that would be my mid lane. Yeah.
of course, we have the bot lane. Idrees, you're the diamond bot laner here. Who would you say ADC and support duos to pick up this meta?
I think like so Kaisa got nerfed. I think she's still good just because you can flex like AD and the AP builds. She has plenty of builds to where you can kind of plug and play her. I think she's not as good on like the AD one. I would say like if you're like Gala or someone, if you were talking about like LPL AD carries, you just pick it a lot of times and you go crazy on it. The AP one you want to pair with stuff like the Maokai Jace. Kaisa's good. I think Zeri's back by the way. Like for those who aren't aware, they haven't caught on. Zeri is back.
All
I
right.
think it's a lot more healthy for the game than it was before because people are just picking it with Engage. They're just going full send it comps with Zeri. There's no Zeri Yumi, very little Zeri Lulu. Zeri Rakan's like a pretty popular one. I guess in terms of supports, Rakan is like a very flexible AD carry. Other AD carries are Zaya. She's like weak to poke, but a lot of teams I think they want Engage in their comp even if they have poke, and a lot of times Zaya lets you play in a certain way where you can kind of just leave her alone and you just run forward, hard to engage on. Hard like she's like flexible so long as you play around her strengths. Definitely a little weak to poke, but I think Zaya is really good in lane as well. In team fights, just all around a really good champion. I think Ashe is okay. I think at the highest level, Ashe is not that great, but I think for weaknesses, Ashe can shore up weaknesses and kind of give you like a unique look. Ezreal, I think, is really good as well in this meta. Just he's pretty flexible. You can pair him with engage support. You can just fist fight people to the death. You can leave Ezreal on the weak side. Right now, I think AD carries in a unique spot. It's like pretty strong, but the champions that are strong are champions that are kind of have more independency because you don't really want to just pair like an enchanter like Jinx Aphelios. You'll still see them. They're not going to be like perma-prio, but we'll probably see some Jinx and Aphelios as like the hyper carry options in some games, but I don't think they're the best. Really, bot lane is kind of dictated right now by a lot of engaged supports, like the Alistar, the Rel, the Nautilus, the Rakan. These supports kind of just blow like enchanters out of the water. So as a result, ADCs need to kind of adapt to that. So I would say mostly, you want like a self-sufficient ADC and an engaged support.
Where are
But-
you at now? Oh, sorry to cut. Like,
You're good.
because I know like Chaser, Dilly. I played it when I had to fill in for OCL's AD. Where are you on the Sivir hype train, Idris?
I think Sivir is good if you're like okay. I'm not to mince words. I think Sivir's like not very good. She's okay. I think it compensates for like player weaknesses or like draft weaknesses. She's like all right as a self-sufficient ADC. I just don't feel like she's that powerful. I'm also like not a fan of like the cleaver build. I think I haven't really played it. Some people say it's good, so I'm gonna hold my hands up on that one. I don't personally love it, but I think if you're in certain situations, so long as you have like carries elsewhere and like if you're playing against like a better player, it can be really good at neutralizing things. Or maybe I don't know. You can snowball with the build, so I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not like my favorite. I think one other ADC I remember is Neela. I think Neela is kind of crazy right now. She does pretty well into a lot of these ADCs that aren't like hyper carries and stuff. that are kind of short range, and like we're seeing this kind of pop off in pro play. I would not be surprised to see Neela shoot up the priority in terms of pick.
That's interesting. I know me and Vortex were having conversations about Nyla being like an ADC that came into the game and didn't really find its place too much. But I swear, it's one of those picks that I see every once in a while, like just tear through a game when you do.
Yeah, I think the problem is that she can just get bullied in lane sometimes, but right now she's not really getting bullied. Like the issue is that she's kind of a melee champion. She has some sustain, but like if as we're seeing, like obviously she's meant to be paired technically with like enchanters, but in reality, when it's engage versus engage every game, then it's like harder to just like use range advantage and bully. And like she's much better than the all-ins. One thing she doesn't have, if you compare to Samira like goes in and she like tears the team to shreds. It's like kill or be killed, right? She's Katarina. Nyla, like you kind of go in with your team and you're doing a good DPS and you can like definitely burst people, but you're kind of like also healing your team. You're kind of like a bit of a warden almost. Like you're just everyone's just sending it, and just stat checking the enemy, and it's just like really it can be very oppressive, I think.
I have a question for Caleb and Idrees, just as like a triple flex bot lane and mid. In a similar vein of like the pick that can kind of tear apart a game in the right situation. What do you guys think of Swain right now? Idrees, you can.
Oh, that's a
I think
good shout.
Swain is an interesting one. I think Swain bot is viable. I don't know if it's like great. I think it struggles when you're playing against really good players who like know how to play against Swain. But I don't think it's bad at all. It can pair well with some champions. It's just like I
It's
think
definitely
Swain has a skill cap in the bot lane where like if you play against really good AD carries who like can know how to dodge a Swain E, it's like tough, and it's also comp dependent, like, but if it's really, really OP in the right situations, and I think Caleb can probably touch more on like when Swain is like actually good in general. But yeah, I think there's a place for Swain in the bot lane.
I think, and Sus will probably agree with me too, because he's now been coaching and helping with draft and like learning draft more for other teams around Elysium too. I think Swain. Well, one, if you're picking Swain, Silas has to be off the table because he's just a better Swain. You can't give Silas Swainar. That's like a draft rule, I would say. But yeah, we actually played Swain bottom in OCL with Shield. We played Swain Tarek, and Moch and I went crazy. It's one of those picks where I think like if they have a lot of dive or they're very short range, and you pick Swain and it gets like any type of lead, especially in Plat Emerald, like that champion feels like Thanos. We played it on Nova. We played it 2 games actually on Sunday. It went mid 1 game, and we played Swain Ash bot game 3. So I'm like a big Swain believer if it's like a good flex. It's probably like much harder to play in Diamond Elo or above because I think players have a tendency to just sit in the Swainar and die. And I feel like in Diamond, they like kite a lot better. Or like Lair CC where Swain can't even get that ult off if he's like out of position. But I would say like, yeah, Plat Emerald, Swain to the moon. Yeah, especially if you can play like the Senna or, the Ashe or like, Tarek was like super good with the Swain. He was just unkillable. Yeah, that's like my 2 cents on, I guess, on the champion. I don't know how he is top either. I know he probably has some good matchups, but
J4
Swain
top
arc
is also interesting right now because that could make a wicked flex pick if there's good matchups for it, but I have no clue if that still exists. Or J4 support, because I have seen that a couple times in solo queue.
It's great into Kennen top, I can say, as a Kennen
J4?
player. Yeah.
Yeah, J4 is traditionally considered like a
go.
Kennen counter pick in top lane, like at least in pro, like Airy,
Yep.
right?
Airy, spam your E.
I think the issue with J4 top maybe like his matchup into Bruisers. I think even with like the item buffs, I don't know if it's like great, just because like you don't really want to fight Bruisers 1-on-1. But
just have a jungle
probably
TP
might
is
see it.
fine. Just have Sus run up there as Belbeth. Now you guys wanted to talk more about the diamond situation in Elysium, right? So why don't we go ahead and move over that? Because I don't actually know what that is, and I'm curious.
So Diamond Romeo is a rank above Plat. I know you've like never even seen Plat 2. I guess Emerald 2 now.
Have a good
It's
one.
like a very rare like it's like a very rare, very like mythical thing almost for you. So I can. He's just gone. Wait, can you hear me? Do you have like a
He took
wireless
off his headset, I think.
We can still go. This is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so
great.
Romeo's not here. Yeah, I mean, he kind of just got owned, so I feel bad for him. But yeah, I'll wait for our host to get back, I guess.
There's
Ask if,
2
like,
diamond rosters.
yeah, yeah. So we
But
have
it's like basically 1, so
Yeah.
yeah. So we have like I guess a core 3 players. We first did style esports, then like with the next we wanted to enter BOL Diamond. We kind of played it by ear, like so. I guess we could start with the beginning. Like a while ago, like basically me and Ian were like our cornerstone Diamond players. Like I had ranked up from plat, so did Ian like last year. We kind of wanted to like get our foot in the ground. So Duddy helped us a lot with like establishing like like tryouts and stuff, getting players. Welcome back, Romeo. We're just talking about. Oh, okay. Welcome back, Romeo. We're just talking about the BOL Diamond story, or
Go
not the
ahead.
BOL Diamond story, just the Elysium Diamond story. Yeah. We did tryouts and stuff. We ended up with finding Burger King. We went through quite a few supports. We ended up bringing back Nick, our top laner from Plat. He's like Diamond Forest, and he did perform really well in tryouts. And we were like, hey, we like Nick. Play with him. We went through several supports. We ended up going with another Ryan, aka Waffle. I'll refer to him as Waffle because we have Ryan here. Waffle's our support. He's an ADC main that I know, but he plays a pretty nasty support, and we've been doing pretty well with him. So yeah, that's our roster for style. So we scrimmed for quite a while. We entered this league style, and then we decided, like, after talking with everyone, like we wanted to enter a diamond league. So we had to look for a mid, and we did a couple I kind of to reach out to a lot of people, and eventually I found like Danny had posted our BOL mid laner Danny. He posted like an LF team on Gangster like a month ago, and I just shot him a message on Discord, and I'm like, yo, you still looking for a team? And he's like, yep. So yeah, that happened. Ryan OP Ivy is our top laner for BOL because Nick is kind of taking a break after this split to focus on his masters, just for like the end of this year. He's like his masters is kind of intense right now.
Drop
So
out.
he wants to finish it. Little bro says drop out as he's studying for the LSAT this week, by the way.
No banners this week because I'm studying for the LSATs.
Hey, you got to give us our banners, man. Come on.
I made the
Yeah,
banners
so
for us.
Ryan's another top laner who's like at the precipice between Diamond and Plat, or Diamond and Plat. He performed really well, and like we believe in him as a top laner. So yeah, we entered top BOL with Ryan and Danny as our solo lanes, and we're continuing its style with Burger King and Nick as our solo lanes.
Speaking of BOL, they had their draw show. We can start with Sus maybe, and then Ryan, and then end with Idrees, because I imagine Idrees knows more of these teams. So I'm looking at it right here. I don't want to like be too. I guess
If you've played in Plat, you could probably recognize a lot of these players.
Yeah, I don't want to be too like egotistical or like too like. Obviously, we have to show up and perform, and we've been scrimming really hard, and I believe in you guys. But I think it's like I would say the top 2 teams are you and the Akuma Sabres. But yeah, so how are you feeling after seeing the group draw and some of the teams, and maybe we can talk about like your personal expectations of BOL Diamond, and then like your team expectations, and that can work for Ryan and Idris as well as we go around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited for the BOL Diamond. It like feels like pretty good playing in Diamond Leagues in general, because when I was playing in Plat Leagues, it felt a lot like you're just playing against people who like don't really feel like a lot of times that they really know exactly what they're doing. Which is like not necessarily to try and flame anyone, but it just felt like that I kind of always knew like what the counterplay was to someone. I wasn't really ever getting punished for any of the plays I made and any of the mistakes I made, especially. And then when you kind of go into Diamond, like there's a little bit of that feeling of almost like getting exposed, where you're like all these mistakes that you had always just worked. Like just maybe Romeo's a big fan of this. Just level 1 walking into the enemy buff to try and get a ward. In Platinum, you can just get away with that, but in Diamond, they will one shot you at level 1, which I'm sure has never happened to Romeo ever. But it's like things like that. So I think it helps you get better really, really fast whenever you have this sort of, when you have these players that can expose your mistakes and teach you the bad habits you formed instead of just kind of letting you get away with it like sometimes happens in Plat and Emerald.
Yeah, I may have said on Sunday when we were playing with Romeo that as long as Romeo didn't walk into the enemy jungler at level 1, we were already winning. So
Did you walk in?
I need to
no,
keep.
he didn't.
I need to
Okay,
keep
okay.
it. And then we lost that game,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, we did.
We
so
did.
It's
No.
bad.
I was.
So what did you learn?
Not to be to always walk in level 1 because I was one of the only ones with a positive KDA.
Oh, brother.
We'll get to
yeah,
the Nova games after.
Yeah,
what a
so
headache.
you saw the do you recognize any of the people sus, or are they all pretty new to you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really see them on the graphic right now, but yeah, we noticed like a few of them, like obviously Sutek, we've seen around. Dobbin I've never played against personally, but a few of the people in Elysium. No, there's Volter 88. Who else do we got?
I can tell you, I've casted a few of these teams when I was casting for BOL last split, and Mystic Cats, I don't remember being too big, not to be mean.
Bro, they got Lolly Shentai. Do you see that?
But
they can't lose.
There's some really good top lane
ID
names.
Hydra wasn't bad. They performed pretty well, but I think I was casting
sure?
Platinum and now they're gone to Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
So
Does Ryan have anything to say
that's
about
the
ID
caveat.
Hydra and Plat?
Yeah. So I've faced ID Hydra in Titan, Conqueror, and
I mean, surely they
I
made
think
playoffs if they're
no.
entering Diamond League, right?
Surely they made playoffs. No, they did not.
Oh,
They
I'm thinking
were
of CB Hydra.
ninth.
Never mind.
9th, I believe, of 12
Wrong one.
teams.
Wrong team.
We
I
actually
don't
played.
think they're bad players.
Me and Ryan actually played against Volter 88 in solo queue a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Walter.
Oh,
that
man,
guy
if only
did
we
not.
had to
That guy
click-
did not have a fun game.
Am I crazy?
Ryan got like
a
a Scion Penta, no?
Was Volter an OT
Yeah.
for a bit?
No,
Okay.
Volter
I'm
was
crazy.
on Sensei Squad, I believe.
I swear he was in the OMT Discord.
But
I mean, he might be.
yeah. Do you have any individual goals for BOL Diamond? And then Ryan and Idris, you can answer after sus.
For individual goals, I mean, right now we play a lot of the more supportive junglers. I would like to kind of try and get some looks on a few of the more carries, like the Graves and Belveth, and now obviously like Jarvan and Sinzao are kind of moving into the meta. Like some of these looks, I think could be really good for our team. It's like sometimes hard to draft around because then you have to find that engage. We've kind of, I don't know if Ryan and Idris agree, but my personal draft rule is that you have to have two forms of engage. And so when you don't have these, like, you know, when you're drafting these more carry style champions, it can be hard to find those like secondary engages or that follow up to really round out your composition.
It kind of ends up being placed on like top and support. I find a lot of the times when you have that jungle carry position, like
Yeah.
obviously there are mids and the rare ADC that has engage tools, but it's very, very difficult to find it in like without them getting one shot when they go in.
I mean, yeah, I think for us in particular, it actually could be that mid. I mean, maybe Ian could talk a bit more about like the different styles between TSM Burger King, our style mid laner, and Danny, our BOL mid laner.
You got like a Sante mid enjoyer.
No, not
Well,
Cassante.
Danny's like a little bit more of like a control mage player, and he like will go towards the things like, you know, maybe like the Azir or like we have like if I'm not wrong, we had some success with Nico as well. So like these kind of champs like can kind of act as a sort of like secondary or follow up or flank engage if you can find like the big Nico Rs. And so Danny's like seems to be really good at that kind of style, whereas Burger King a lot of times plays like maybe some of like the greedier and more off meta things like big Yasuo Yone player popped off last game on the Vlad in game 3 of our playoff series. I mean, I don't think the scoreline necessarily reflected it, but he was putting in a lot of damage in the team fights. So he tends to kind of play like maybe a little bit more of these champions that can sometimes be harder to find engages on, especially. So, but I mean, even that, like he does play things like the Riven mid, so there is kind of like as well. There's like that flank or secondary follow up engage as well. But I would say that Burger King definitely goes towards like these more like kind of flashy playmaking styles, and then Danny, we have like kind of the more like consistent team fight has kind of been my particular view on the two of them.
I think Danny's Silas as well has looked really good.
Yeah.
When we
Yeah, the
see
Silas, the
Anang.
Ahri.
I actually I changed my order, so I'll go to you, Idrees, next. What's your as captain of Dawn? What's do you have any individual goals for BOL, and then what are your team expectations going into this after seeing the group draw?
So individual goals, I just want to be the best AD carry I can be. Work on my weaknesses. I feel like I've identified those things. It's just a matter of focusing on self-improve, or not just focusing on self-improvement, but like in terms of individual goals, I want to be like the best AD carry in the league. I want to perform
Good luck.
every game. I want to, not necessarily like just pop off 1v9, but I want to, just play good League of Legends. As far as the team expectations, my goal is like we either win or we disband. No, I'm just kidding. But like seriously, I think we have a really good shot at winning this league, and I would view like if we don't win, then I want to at least feel like we did the best we could, and I'm pretty sure if we do the best we can, we're like arguably the favorites. I mean, like we were mentioning earlier, I feel like the league is like solid. I think it feels like kind of D4 average. So, and I think looking at a lot of these teams, I don't see like anything super scary. I think maybe the strongest might be like Akuma Sabres apart from us. So that should be fun. I know like I recognize some of these names like Arch and Ichirat. I believe they're like a pretty good bot lane, like a well-known, really good bot lane who used to be in Plat. So yeah, I think like obviously we're playing in 2 leagues right now, so it's definitely a lot to juggle that around, and we have like surprisingly 2 pretty distinctive styles, I think, between our 2 teams, even though 3 out of the 5 players are consistent between the rosters. But yeah, I mean, I think like we have a real shot at bringing Elysium their first diamond ship here, so that's my goal.
I think everyone's done a pretty good job of like we're at this weird end of season, beginning of season transition, but all of our teams are doing well. So like SG, for example, is currently on 3 teams. Like I'm on 3 teams. Like Ryan's on 2 teams and it's subbing on. It's just been crazy. But
and then it's slowly going down.
Yeah,
The falls part where I think the most is there's a couple players on 2 teams, and that's about it. And like consistently.
Yeah, pretty much. We are finally getting big enough now where there should be like 1 person per team. We have a couple like top laners, right? SG's filling top because
we need top laners.
Yeah, that role just doesn't exist in Emerald apparently.
We got super sub Caleb out here.
I'm playing AD carry and OCL playout. Like it's been wild. But Ryan, so yeah, for you, individual expectations and then team expectations. What are you thinking?
Okay.
And then I'll come back to you with another question.
My goal and expectation is that I have the highest Malphite win rate of all the top laners this league. And then for the team, I I do really think that we can win this, and we should win this.
I don't want to win with a Malphite player.
I only want to lock in Malphite, so.
Lock it in once, and you'll have the highest win rate. I promise you.
I've looked at a couple of the top laners. I mean, some of them look pretty solid, like Dobbin. I'm excited to play that matchup if I get to. But yeah, really, I'm just excited to play. Really, it's been a while since I played on Sword, and I think we really have a good shot in this league. So.
Agreed.
Yeah, awesome. So my and then Romy, after this question, you can kind of take it wherever you want. But you're the captain of Terra, which is technically like our 3rd diamond team. Well, we're going to be playing in the Black Twitch League, season 15 or 16. That roster, as is Ryan top. We have James in the jungle. We have me mid. We have Siggy 80 carry and Waffle support with Idrees as our super sub, multi-role talent. What are your thoughts on your Terra roster? I know we haven't started scrimming because the schedules have been crazy, but how are you feeling about Terra? And yeah, just your, I guess, view of that team that we've put together.
Well, overall, like thoughts. First of all, on paper, the roster to me sounds really, really strong. And then in terms of vibes, I think we all get along very well and like have good synergy. Provided that Siggy doesn't have like a freak accent and we have to sub in Idrees, I think we have a good chance to win any league we're going in. I haven't seen the opposition in BTL yet, so I'm not gonna make any like wild predictions on how we do, but I think we'll definitely be a solid team. And we did scrim one time with slightly different roster, just kind of trying out how it felt, and it was really solid. I think we all just synergized quite well. I'm very excited about James, our jungler. I think he's just very strong jungler.
Yeah.
Quite an aggressive play style, likes to invade, and I don't know. I like that. Similar to Ian, I would say.
Yeah, I like to second that. I definitely think when I was watching the tryouts, like James was definitely one of the players that kind of stood out to me. I think he communicates pretty well, and I think he just like plays pretty solid. I'm definitely excited. Hopefully, I get an opportunity to kind of work with him and do some stuff. And so, because I think he has like a lot of potential to be really, really good. So I'm pretty excited for that.
You worried about getting replaced?
I would love to have my pupils overtake me.
I'm
someday
coming
and
for you,
play my
mother.
spot.
I'm coming for you. Just
Yeah,
wait.
I'm sure you are.
Ian's
This
shaking
entire
his boots
week-
at the thought of...
For
This
sure, man.
entire week, everyone has told me how I'm a bad jungler, but just wait, sus. I'm gonna be you one day, and they're all gonna eat their words.
You would
That
be a
one
great
day
jungler.
is very,
gold
very
league.
far away. So
You would be as crazy. You would be as crazy, Ryan.
Yeah, in a gold league.
Okay, Caleb.
Hey, listen,
Boxing,
Romeo, I believe in you, Romeo. I believe in you.
Idrees is my favorite.
You won't be the new sus. You'll be the new Romeo. Ian will try to be the new sus.
I don't want to be the new Romeo. the old Romeo.
You will
scares
be
me.
the Romeo.
There we go.
Everyone's gonna want to be Romeo.
The
I'll be
Romeo.
Susomeo.
What the? Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Idrees,
just
all he
trying
wants to be
to-
is Siggy.
I think
True.
as an owner, how I've been putting together teams, like I feel like Terra, especially with me mid, like allows us to play like a lot of aggressive stuff, and Siggy just being like this consistent 10 CS a minute AD. So I'm really excited for Terra, and I'm really excited to see James play and Sus helping James improve even more. Like I really think like every org or every like, you know, organization like in sports and stuff always has their breakthrough. And I really think from everyone's hard work here and stuff like our trouts were really successful. We actually like SG has been a crazy pickup. Our gold team, plat team, like they're insane. We have Ryan, we have Siggy, we have all these guys that have stuck around. So I really think that this fall split's going to be like when people get the Elysium name in the group draw, they're like, oh shit, you know, we have to play an Elysium team. I really think that's going to be this fall because yeah, like Nova, Shield, everyone has just been going crazy.
Now, speaking of going crazy, just because I want to touch on this before we move to the questionnaire section of the game.
Sure.
Ending this fall split, obviously, we still have, I think, 3 teams in playoffs. We went over Dawn in style. We still have Shield, who has a bye week this week.
Yeah, they have a bye week. They're waiting.
Who do you guys want to play in finals?
We 3-0 any of them. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys
Wow.
beat. So who was your competition for like the chip was like OE? Was it Infinity
yeah.
or Nova?
So
and you
we
beat them,
play
right? 3-1.
we play the winner of Nova and Infinity. We beat Nova with K-Peps jungling for the first time with us and me on AD carry. So there's no world they beat us with Myron back. And then we beat Infinity 3-1. I think we had Myron.
Yes.
Yeah, we had Myron. I don't even remember. Oh, yeah. The game that they beat us was like, we had like a 5K gold lead and through it. So I think if we just play, you know,
So it's
not
an
like that.
expected chip, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, I would
You
be
think it'll
shocked
the
if
second
if-
Elysium
Is
chip,
Vortex
for sure.
back? Like,
Yes,
from
he
his
came
previous-
back today.
he's back.
Me
So
and him
he's
are playing
playing. You
Baldur's
guys playing
Gate
Friday?
after this.
Nope,
Okay,
next
okay.
Friday. We have a bye.
Next
We have
Friday.
a bye. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would be
So, Romeo, you
I
better
would
book that
be
stream that.
shocked if that wasn't our second
It'll be
official chip.
It'll be
Oh
streamed
yeah,
guaranteed
stream
on
on
that.
the channel.
But you know, maybe
Any
we'll
casters?
stream. Maybe we'll stream an after party or something. Get all the guys in for like a Jackbox.
I mean, what
chip
if you
night.
ask them if you can cast because you're like the Elysium?
If they let me.
Just shooting ideas, you know, like obviously, you know.
Ju-
Yeah.
If this podcast gets 3 likes, I'll ask them.
All right. Well,
Alright, we
there's
got
There's
5
5 of us
I
here.
hope we can get 3 likes.
Sorry. 8 likes, because it needs to be three after us.
I have my YouTube alts, bro. You think I have you have YouTube Smurfs? You don't think I have Smurfs?
It's the big goal.
I have
It's
17
the big
email
goal.
accounts.
so yeah, that's like my prediction. So I'll ask you, reverse it.
Oh,
You're going
God.
up against Team Empire or
So are
Tempest
you, but
Empire,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
they are. Yeah, I mean,
Tempest Empire Gaming. Yep.
you can't ask yourself the question. So, how do you feel going into that match? Again, that team changed their AD carry.
Do you want truth, or do you want me to
Yeah.
put up a front? Because truthfully, I'm terrified.
Really?
I don't want to lose, but I also think, like, I mean, you have discussed, there are some interesting dynamics. I think when we're a full squad, we play really well, but they're a good team. We beat them in before they did their swaps, but they just destroyed Moist for Mermaids.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, although we 2-0'd Moist, it was close. Like, the game, like, once we got our gold advantage, it was very, like, quick to the end, but, like, they were, any team fight goes wrong against Moist, it would have been a very close game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like these guys are going to be the hardest incantation of a team we've faced going into this next round. What I'm even more terrified about is once we start facing teams from other groups, because I believe we beat them, if we beat them, we're in the finals of our division, but then there's grand tournament.
Grand
tournament, I am actually nervous of.
I'm like,
we don't know who's there.
I'm like that excited nervous, right? Because
Yeah, me too. Don't get me wrong.
If we
I'm hyped. I'm as excited as I
Yeah.
was during Riptide when we were going into our place. But Riptide, I had this sense of there's nothing that's going to stop us after we beat Iceport. I just felt like destroying after destroying after destroying, because obviously we were a bunch of gold players who were better than gold.
yeah,
Okay, like I wasn't at the start, but by the end of it, I was able to hit plat and whatnot. Now it's like
So you were silver?
no. Actually, before I joined Elysium, yeah, pretty much, to be honest. But by the time I was done playing with Boogie, Dilly, and the Riptide boys, I had become a good enough player to be in Platinum. And at the time, when it was the Shiv meta, 1 game off Diamond. But now I'll never hit it, Idrees. But
Yeah, now.
But like with Nova, it feels like every game gets harder and harder. And I feel like I'm a plat player playing an Emerald. So it is it is definitely scary. I am glad the new meta shifts, I feel a little bit better because it's champions I know how to play. So there's that. But it is like, I'm not like gonna sit here and be like, Nova's going to win the chip in LAS, like you can say about OCL.
I think it's interesting too. And if any league owner is watching, I think Grand Tournament's a fantastic idea. And for those that didn't listen last week or maybe need a refresh, basically right now we're in playoffs for seeding to the Grand Tournament. And the Grand Tournament format is literally Worlds. You play double round robin, best of ones, and that determines if you go to quarters and semis and so on. And you play all of the best teams from all 3 groups. It's really, really cool. So right now, Nova has a chance to be the number 1 seed going into Grand Tournament, which would be huge because I believe you get to pick the group that you're in. But yeah, just really, really cool idea. But I'm going to make a prediction. What do you think the score is going to be?
For us versus TG?
Yeah.
I think if we lose, it goes to game 5. If we win, it's a 3-1.
Okay, I like that.
I think it's going to be the 3-1, but I do think if we lose, we're going to Silver Scrapes. I don't think, like, if we get a hard shot on, I'll be very disappointed.
Yeah.
I don't think, I do think we're better than them. I just don't know that it's by much. I think it's going to be close games. I don't think it's going to be 20-minute squash fest. I think we're going to be finally going to 30, 35, 40-minute games, which I don't think Nova's had yet in that.
We had versus B Team 2 games, but
That's what also concerns me. No offense to B Team, because they played way better than they did in the season, but also the fact that we were going 40 minutes against a team that in the regular season we went 2-0 against in quick fashion. Like, that scares me.
yeah. Well, we did have 2 subs and we lost 3 bans. That definitely didn't help.
The bans, the hybrid, man. We could not.
But I will say
We
too,
also-
like, oh, you can go ahead.
I will say I don't know anything about the team, but I do know our friend Burger King, our mid laner, is coaching that team. So he's also coaching a team in the BOL. I think pretty much the same teams, like 3 out of 5. So yeah, maybe
Gotcha.
under that guidance, he's also technically our BOL coach.
We
as
should
well.
mention it's all in esports B Team. Like, the actual org name is all
Yeah,
in esports.
all in esports.
Okay.
But
Shout
I
out to
think
them
what
because they're a great. There are other teams doing wicked well as well in LAS.
yeah, I think what I guess that concerns me, but it's cool because like if you don't pay attention to a lot of the other groups, right? When you get to grand tournament, say B teams in your group, that team is like way better than a 4th seed
And the other
since the
thing
changes, right?
with the groups as well is our group's considered to be the easy group by people watching because there's been 2 teams kind of just running through everyone, us and Moist for Mermaids, right?
Yeah.
But then you have to ask yourself, if you're in another group, are they running through teams because everyone else is significantly worse than everyone in the league, or is this group really good and there's just still a skill disparity at the top of it, right? Which is like,
Yep.
where does it fall? Because everyone thinks that even us, we're gonna be, because even when you listen to the podcast and whatnot, somehow our team's still a complete sleeper pick as we go. Because that's also another nervous thing. Like if you listen to KTL and the guys on the LAS podcast, they're talking about how our division is going to get wiped once we go to grand tournament. So that's scary. Besides Moist, they had a lot of good things to say about Moist before we beat them.
Mhm.
So there's that situation as well. But with that, I think that's pretty much everything happening next week besides the regular season games, which I know there's a lot. Stay tuned. Check out match days for that. And hopefully, now that we have the stream password switch finally, we'll get some of these Twitch streams. I'll try to make some posts about which games are getting streamed. But we're going to go ahead and go to asking some questions to Idrees, Ryan, and Ian about their start in the league. The no longer Elysium part of the podcast, the player part. And then we're going to go to our game and close it out. So
I was going to say we'd probably rapid fire this. I don't know
which
what we're
one,
at on time.
No,
so.
we're at 50 minutes. We're still chilling.
Okay.
Which one do you guys want to go first? We need the stories of you people.
We'll go Ryan.
I can go, I guess. Oh yeah, Ryan. Let's go.
The
Ryan.
stories.
All right.
What do you
So
mean?
yeah, so
Like,
how did you when did you start playing League? What's your favorite champion and what's your favorite champion this patch? Also, when did you get into competitive? Those 4 questions.
So there I was, right?
Okay.
Just like a young one in the Netherlands. And I think it was my Korean friend Jihan introduced me to League the first time, and I placed bronze 3 and then went straight down to bronze 5 when that was the lowest rank. Stayed bronze 5 0 LP for a while, pretty high elo at the time. And then, right, the 20 game win streak, the legendary, actually 22 game win streak to gold. And then it was actually a couple years later that I ended up getting into comp when I came here to the US. This was just a couple of years ago now. It didn't go well at all. I joined a Diamond League when I was like D4 peak, not great. It was really tough. Like also consistently scrimming against a Masters opponent, scrim partner who just gapped me every time. So I took a break from comp and like vowed to never do it again. But then I don't know, Elysium just has such great vibes. It's been like a completely different experience and I've been loving it since. So and in terms of favorite champ, overall it's got to be Kennen. I got like my million master points.
Why?
Obviously.
Because I asked Chaser the same thing. Only Kais is obviously off looks. Why do you like Kennen so much? What is it about him that makes it your favorite champion to play?
He's a furry.
Yeah, probably his feet.
Okay. Daddy just tuned into the podcast.
No, I don't know.
in the chat.
I got Kennen the first time. I got my friend to gift me Kennen, Vlad, and Fizz. Kennen and Vlad are like my 2 best champs. I got my friend to gift me those champs in exchange for my old CSGO skins. So that's how I first got into them. And then it's been like, I don't know, I just like playing the champ. And like this patch, I think my favorite champ is Vlad. I've been like, every game feels pretty free on that champ right now.
That's pretty fair.
Not your Cassidon top.
My
That's
cast
not
and top goes fucking nutty. Also the Heimerdinger yesterday. Like, come on.
Your Heimer was goated, I will say. Yeah. So Kennen and Vlad, that's what.
Kennen and Vlad.
So about you, Sus, when did you start playing why'd you get into comp, favorite champion, and favorite champion on the patch?
Got into League like when I was still in high school. My friends introduced it to me at band camp, Super Pog.
Wait, are you
I
kidding?
didn't. No, I
So-
didn't have. I didn't have. They were talking about it, and I know like they're just nonstop talking about League of Legends. I'm like, what the heck are you guys talking about? And we didn't have internet whenever I was at that age, so I went to McDonald's, installed it on my laptop, and I would go home after school and play League of Legends on my mobile hotspot on my laptop. That costs like
Literal
$150 from
McDonald's
Walmart.
So, this
so
one
I
time
was
at
not-
band camp, you got into League.
Yeah, so I was not very good at it. But then by like whenever I was starting to get into my senior year of high school, I hit plot 4 and I was super excited, and I actually got a scholarship to go play for a college team. So I did that, and by the end of the year, I decided that I didn't really want to do college anymore. I wasn't really super stoked about that, so I decided to just go straight into working from there. I didn't really have any student loans or anything because my academic scholarship was so high. So I didn't really feel like I was losing too much by just dropping out after 1 year. And then the coach I had in college was part of like a amateur organization. He was running an amateur organization, so I kind of got into that after a couple year break. And then after that, Sev actually was in that org, and then now he was at Elysium. So he messaged me and said, "Hey, Elysium's like having tryouts or something, and you were like pretty good whenever we played together, so you should give it a shot." And then I've been here ever since. For favorite champion all time, definitely probably has to be Graves. Big Graves fan. I think the champion is just really, really fun to play. It feels like you have a lot of agency, especially when he's strong. It feels like you can really be the one who decides how the game goes. But favorite champion on the patch, I think it's probably going to have to be the Xin Zhao. I think he's really, really good in solo queue. I think he's very strong with the new Shojin changes. We'll see if it gets like hotfix nerfed or anything, and I'll change my mind pretty quick probably. But Xin Zhao's kind of been like in and out of the meta for a while, and I think that he is like probably the strongest he's ever been, at least in my experience, like right now. So if you're an old Xin Zhao player, I think now's the time to hop on board.
And who's your favorite champion based off looks?
Based off looks,
Mm-hmm.
Lulu.
I'm not really sure about that. I've not really thought about it. I really like kind of the stuff like the monster champions. Like I think Warwick has like a super killer design. I just think he looks like really, really dope.
That's fair, Shane Dawson. All right, Idrees.
Jesus.
Wait. I just processed what the.
No, respect.
We start with the literal
I'm
McDonald's
sorry, the
Wi-Fi.
joke
We
was-
end at Shane Dawson.
I'm sorry. I had to make that joke. I'm so
That is-
sorry.
You will be.
Oh, God. Ian's like, no more coaching for you. I love you, Ian. All right, Idrees.
Yeah, sure. So I started playing in like I think season 3. Also in high school. I think like just a few of my friends played it, and I was like, sure, let me play this game. I think I reached gold. Like my first rank season was like season 4. I think I reached gold eventually. It was like, it was like 100 ping. Anyone who's on the East Coast would remember back then we had 100 ping before the servers moved. I had like 40 to 30 FPS. I think initially I got like a better computer after a little while, but like initially I had like 5 banned accounts because I would just like randomly like 20 minutes into the game my computer would just crash, and then I would AFK the game and I didn't know what was going on, and so those accounts just kept getting banned. And then eventually like I got like a hand-me-down computer that was like decent, so I was playing on that. But yeah, I played throughout high school. I played throughout college. I got like plat at some point, mid to high plat, I think. And I was like kind of gonna quit the game, I think like around season 8, season 9. But like an old friend of mine was like, "Yo, at our university, I think in my senior year, he was like, yo, we're making a league team. You want to join?" And I was like, "Sure, right." So back then I was like a mid lane main. I was like decent, like mid plat, but I wasn't that good. Eventually I think I was like on the B team, but I was like the captain of the B team or something. And then I think we needed an ADC for the A team though, and I spammed like duo bot with a friend, my support who's like a pretty good friend of mine, like before the tournament, and I was like, dang, I'm actually pretty good at ADC. I'm a lot better at ADC because I had like I played a lot of ADC before. I didn't really love it, but I was doing really well in bot lane, so I just like kind of role swapped to bot lane. And yeah, I think that's like the first time I hit diamond as well. So I was just like, I think when I rank up is generally when I'm motivated to play, and that's like around being in comp. I think like playing competitive really motivates me to just improve. So yeah, I played throughout my senior year of college. We were pretty good. We were like a mid diamond average team. Honestly, we would like beat high diamond, low masters teams. Eventually, if anyone's played in collegiate, you'll play against like teams with 2 challengers, and it's just GG. You just enjoy the game and then go next. um, so yeah, there was that. I think at the end of 2021, so that was like a year after graduating college. I was my old like coach or whatever, not the coach, but like the team owner, I guess. He was like, can you sub in for us in PRL? This was like PRL winter or whatever. And I was playing top lane, so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I was like, I had never heard about like this plat amateur stuff, so I joined that. I played. And we were like pretty awful because this was like with the B team, but I had fun. So like in 2022, I think I kind of made like a makeshift organization with my like friends, most of who I went to college with, some went to high school with, and we just kind of competed. We competed in like Radiant Strike Esports. I think we did pretty bad in that. We played in PRL against some like kind of crazy stacked teams. Uh, it was pretty fun. I think we were like the fourth best or something, and then we played in CCS Diamond at the end of the year. And after that, I was like not sure if I wanted to keep playing. I think most of my friends were like moving to Valorant and stuff, but I was like, I kind of like this competitive league stuff. I'll just, apply to a few orgs. I did a few tryout stuff. I didn't like go with those. And eventually I tried out for Elysium like a month later, and I was like, sure, let's do this. They seem kind of chill. I talked to Caleb, he seemed pretty chill. And so yeah, I joined Elysium, made a lot of good friends here. We had like crazy runs on Elysium Blaze and stuff, and yeah, now I'm here.
And it really strikes me how not long Elysium's been around, because I joined the split before Blaze and all that, and there were 2 teams back then. It's been a year now that we're going into 10.
Yeah, I've almost been here for a year, actually. It's kind of crazy how time flies.
I've been here literally 3 months longer than like everyone else joined, which just happened to be before there was like 20 people in the server when I joined, I think.
In what, 5.5 months, we'll be 2 years old as an org. So,
and like first year it was 3 teams. Like originally there was Sword. There's not Sword. The original Sword. Yeah, there was Rush.
Rush.
There was one other team before that.
Royale, which we always joke about.
Royale.
We won a chip because the league kicked us out of the league because I was too good for the league. Although they vetted us 4 times and then they kicked us out. So that's basically a chip. But yeah, we've grown a lot. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
But I guess, yeah.
You know what's
even
more
going
crazy?
back into that. Yeah. What's crazy?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. But yeah, I guess like what was the next thing? It was like champions, right?
Yes.
Your favorite champion and why, and then your favorite champion on the patch.
On the patch, okay. I think favorite champion overall is actually Echo. Like I think he was my main back when I played mid. I played like Echo and Ari. I really liked the like what's it called, the True Damage Echo skin. So I would say like both aesthetically and just like gameplay wise, my favorite champion's Echo. Like I had like a really crazy win rate on Echo jungle, like, and Echo mid. It's like fun. It's not. It kind of sucks sometimes. Because like a lot of times it's just hard to interact. You just kind of shove and roam. But yeah, I'd say Echo's like my favorite champion. But if we go by ADCs, then it would be Ezreal. Was the favorite on the patch is probably Zeri. I think Zeri is also one of my favorite champions. It's just really fun. You just like a highlight reel simulator. It's just I have like countless highlights on Zeri. I think it's just a really fun champion. And I think on this patch, Zeri's like maybe the champion to keep an eye on. Like if we go to like worlds and stuff.
So you think Zeri is gonna go crazy?
If we go to Worlds, like the Diamond team?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if we qualify to Worlds, like if I pull out the Zeri against JDG, like we might win.
For real.
Well,
we would get Matt. We would like relieve Mad Lions of their 1647 record. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, like pro teams obviously go to Worlds.
It's okay. I trust you guys. At least the same record as NA at Worlds last year. But
true.
With those crazy statements being said, you know what's even crazier? The RP draw you can get entered in if you win today's game show. Someone
like us?
Yeah, like.
Let's go!
All right.
Okay, so with that out of the way, Caleb, hit some intro music.
That's all I got. I don't know. Like
I
didn't
was
know you were
hoping
doing
for a
that.
Norse Viking chant.
Yeah.
Well, that works. Here's how today's game show is going to work. As you see, below my camera is Caleb and Ryan. Now, you guys need to beat that team to get entered in the draw. Now, Caleb didn't do very good last week, but nor did Chaser. So
we won, baby, and a dub's a dub.
we thought we'd give him a partner. So the camless guys are down there. You guys are obviously in the same color shirt. This really works out. Pick something yellow.
Banana.
You guys are the banana team. Below us are the fucking animals. The animals.
Fucking animal.
We're not
Alright.
the Shane Dawson team. True.
Below us are Shane Dawson's followers. Now, we have switched to this week. This week, you guys, I hope you know your abilities. I'm going to name an ability name, and you have to tell me what champion and what letter on the keyboard that ability is. We're going to play first 5 points here. If you get it
Will
wrong,
you like buzz in or?
yes.
How do we buzz
just
in?
said it,
Yeah.
What if I have
What?
it bound to a different
Oh,
key?
What if I
Then you're
play
wrong.
on a Dance Dance Revolution gamepad?
Then tell me what arrow you hit.
Okay.
Now, we're
Blue
going to
arrow.
let each team decide on their buzzer. Caleb and Ryan, I'll let you guys pick your buzzer first.
Ryan, you
Meow.
okay?
The Shane Dawson team has chosen that their buzzer is going to be meow. The banana team, what would you like your buzzer noise to be?
Woof.
Wow.
Yeah, you fucking dogs.
I think it should be two. That should be our
Yeah.
two.
We had terrible buzzer noises last week. We're just continuing the trend. So
What do you mean? I think they're good.
mine
our one is.
last week was literally buzzer noises. So
I just punched myself in the nuts from
So we're
laughing.
spitting, all right?
But yes, so
Okay,
banana
cool.
team's noise is now.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead with the first one, and they will get probably increasingly harder as we go on. First to 5, we'll win this game, and then we will close with this podcast. Are you guys ready?
yeah, of course.
2. Yes. All right. Point 1.
All
Meow.
right. The first ability name, you must name the champion, and the ability letter is Maleficent, Malefic Visions.
Meow.
That's gonna be Caleb. Who is it?
Ryan, you can go. I know you.
I have no fucking clue.
Two.
Oh wait, no. I got it.
I'm gonna press it for time. Come on.
Malzahar.
What letter? I
Q.
heard champ. That's incorrect. I heard
E.
Idrees.
No, it's E.
Idrees.
It's E.
Idrees.
No, it's my turn now.
Yep, Idrees.
No.
Go ahead.
All right. E.
Of what champion?
E what?
Malzahar.
That is correct. Congratulations to Banana Team for getting the first.
It's like Caleb could have literally just answered for Ryan, but he
my
blew it.
God, bro.
the
Well,
second.
I didn't
Easy
know.
the
That was a
se-
pure
It's
guess, by
fine.
the way.
It's fine. It's fine.
The second ability name is Warpath.
Warpath?
Warpath.
Is there any
Idrees?
penalty for not guessing? Or
Hecarim.
for
What ability?
E.
That's incorrect. Caleb
Does
and
this
Ryan.
include
So now
passives?
when we
This-
get a free
This
guess,
does
right?
include passive, yes.
And
Ryan.
like, so I have a question though. If we get it wrong, do we get more?
If you get it
guesses?
wrong, we're gonna go to the next ability.
Can we deliberate between
Uh,
ourselves?
You guys got 10
Is there a
seconds.
timer? Oh
10
my
seconds.
goodness.
Okay,
10.
so
Is
my
it
guess-
Hecarim? R?
7.
That
I'm
is
not answering. I'm not answering. I'm
3.
not answering.
2.
Idris,
Rel
That's
W.
Caleb.
Rel W.
is Rel
Rel
W.
W.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right, that is incorrect. It was Hecarim passive.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
Passive?
Now that we have
This
You
is
said what
established-
letter on the keyboard?
Yep. So passive.
P.
Yeah, there
P.
you go.
No,
It's
that's the
abilities.
top.
That sucks. That,
I mean, I clarified. I
make the
said
rules
it's a
around
passive.
here.
I got it.
Yeah, bro,
you
he
guys,
gave you.
you
He
guys
actually
you guys
gave
had
you
the hint. We gave you the answer basically.
Okay, Ryan, we bounce back.
All right, moving to the next ability. It is still first to 5, 1 point on the banana
Zach.
team. Z Drive Resonance.
2.
Ian?
You want to go Ian? or-
Idris.
Idris?
Echo.
Echo. Come on.
Ian,
guys.
wait.
I need.
I
more
know.
than
Wait,
just
can I
Echo.
finish it for him?
Yeah,
Yes.
if you know for sure.
Go ahead.
I'm
Passive.
90% sure.
That is correct.
All right, let's go.
That is 2-0 for the banana team. The next ability name. And you guys are
Alley-oop.
really slacking. Come on, Caleb. Pick it up. Jubilant
Oh.
Veil.
Excuse me?
Will you repeat that?
Jubilant Veil.
Ooh, 2.
Banana team.
Nyla.
It's
And
not with
Giga.
W.
This is ridiculous. That is 3 points. You guys are getting clean
What?
swept here. It feels like a
Oh,
You guys
reverse.
in Shark Team 6. Holy.
Can we do like
Didn't
like
get swept.
guess the splash art? Come on.
You guys, that's what I'm planning on doing next week, to be honest. So you're
Can you
one
do
week
not
early.
dog shit champs? Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys better pull off the reverse sweep. That's supposed to be the Elysium special, or getting reverse.
Oh,
sweep, I guess.
where?
I'd be shocked if it goes to game 4.
Ryan,
I'd be
Ryan,
shocked.
Ryan knows what it's like to be reverse swept.
No.
Was
I
it
do
not,
not.
was that not sword?
Way to mental boom my teammate, by the way.
Listen, I gotta
he's already
fire some
boomed.
shots. We need to
Psychological
talk
I'm
about-
Well,
muted
fair.
deafen for the rest of the game.
We also have players that did that in playoff, but we won't talk
The
about
animals
that.
are doing great.
The next one is going to be empowered savagery.
You can't even.
Just
Wait.
empowered
Meow.
savagery. Yes.
Nar W.
No.
Two.
Yes.
Well, okay, then
Is it?
yes, he said yes. It's right.
I think I know.
Oh, Empowered Savagery. I know which one this is. This is
You want me to go?
Rengar.
She's thinking so hard.
Empowered Savagery. I think Savagery is Rengar's Q.
That is correct. That is 4-0 for the banana team. He's
All
getting
right, let's
sacked.
go.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
It's gonna be a sweep, bro.
Damn it, Caleb.
Just call it. Just call it. Do you want to
Okay.
give him a freebie?
Yeah,
You
we're
can, like,
gonna.
AFK go
I'm
to
gonna
the
let them.
bathroom?
I'm gonna let them get the. Go ahead and get the first.
Sudden death. We
Guessed?
get to answer first.
Oh, okay,
guys-
they get to guess
Nah,
first.
fuck.
Okay.
They get to
No.
guess first, guys. You need to
Sudden
get.
death.
There's no sudden,
way.
no all or
There
nothing.
is
No way.
This is sad. Okay, so we're gonna let them. We're gonna let them guess first. Okay.
I'm down for double or nothing, but since you can't double zero, like you guys are screwed, you know.
But just
It's double and nothing.
Double or nothing.
on game point, we get to guess first. So from now on, we just reverse sweep. No big
Are
deal.
you guys
Oh,
ready?
okay. I've had.
If you guys get anything
Yes.
wrong, they're probably gonna cream you. The first ability is
I wish.
3 Talon Strike.
Oh my. Free low.
Me,
They should be
Ryan, do you
ridiculously
know?
easy.
I'm gonna throw it out there if you don't.
I don't know.
I think it's Xin Zhao Q.
Ladies and gentlemen, they've gotten
You
their
got
first
it.
point on
Let's
the
go.
board.
Undefeated.
Well,
I'm
So far.
the next one is
I
going,
smurf in your elo. Holy moly! Oh.
the next one's going to be. Sorry, I'm currently looking. I didn't have this many planned. I thought you guys were gonna get completely swept, but I gave you a chance.
A top laner, please.
The next one's going to be Pow Pow.
Meow.
Yes, Kitty.
Jesus Christ, Ryan, I'm so sorry. By the way, pow pow, right? That's what you said.
Yes.
Oh fuck, we lose.
Wait. No.
It's we're collaborating here. It's Jinx, right? It's Jinx Q.
Hey, he googled.
No.
It's Jinx Q.
Oh, it's true. We don't have cams. They're
Jinx
cheating.
Q.
Bro, how do we
Final
know?
answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is correct. It is.
Dude, the
Jinx.
only reason I know that is because of Chasers. Like, shout out to homie. Holy.
Alright, do
moly.
we have our? Are they still
You-
getting like
I'm
first
gonna,
No,
I'm gonna
no.
let them. I'm gonna let them until they get hit at
It's,
least.
what is it?
3.
3-4?
until they hit
It's,
four?
it's 2-4.
So you're just
It's
like,
2-4 right now.
Oh,
It's 2-4.
oh my
2-4.
god.
They have
No,
not-
no,
I'm
let
not
him be.
Oh,
able
they're
to
gonna
chime in.
destroy you though. All right.
No, they won't.
Fine,
All right.
that's
If you want to get decimated right here, ladies and gentlemen,
Decimating smash.
Decimate.
which one is? Get ready on the buzzer here.
Mhm.
Zoomies.
Meow.
Yes.
Oh wait.
I hear a meow. What is it? What is the cat?
Is it Caleb? I'm asking Caleb. Is it the W, or the is Or is it
Yumi.
the E? Is the E? It's the E. It's
I
the
think
E,
it's
right?
the E. Yeah, just go E.
Okay, wait. Yumi E.
That is correct. They got one. Thank God, because if the cat got it wrong, I'd be sad. Okay. It is 3-4. The comeback is real. Which
Of course.
ability is Trial by Fire?
Two.
Ryan.
It is.
And, sorry, Ian.
King Blink passive.
That is
Yeah.
correct, ladies and gentlemen. Your winners and now officially entered in the RP draw is the Banana Team, Idrees and Ian. They have destroyed Caleb and Ryan. This is why we make sure it's Caleb's money. in the
Destroyed?
RP.
What do you mean? It was
Not
close.
close. Not close, dude.
I mean, with them,
I
with them,
demand a rematch.
Idrees and Ian, do you want a
it's like-
rematch to be entered twice?
No.
I don't want to embarrass them anymore. It's
What are
over.
these cringe champion
we will
picks?
have mercy.
Romeo's
Yeah.
fault.
We will have Mercy, like
We'll have
from
Mercy on them, yeah.
Overwatch.
Next
Some
week.
point.
I want her on the show.
next week we're hoping to get our boy Dilly on the podcast, and then
The Dilly boy.
I got the game Romeo.
Oh, I have to
try and
defeat my old
defend our
Riptide
wallet.
brother.
Yeah, we can try and defend our wallet
Oh
with
boy.
Romeo's brain.
Oh
So-
boy. Not a lot going on up there, but with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and close it off. Thank you to the Dawn Boys for being here with us on the podcast. Let us know how you liked it. Do you prefer more people? Do you prefer when we just have one person on the podcast? Let us know what you think, what you want us to talk about next. And be here next week for more Elysium news, hopefully on Sunday. But it's starting to look like this is a Tuesday podcast because Caleb is never around.
I'm just on 7 teams, 7 days a week. Ellie win, no problem.
I don't know, Ellie. There's an Ellie loss on our Twitter page right now.
Not my fault.
No comment.
No comment.
All right.
Wasn't me,
GGs.
bro.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.